Today on 21st Century Business, explore state-of-the-art technology, innovative business strategies, insights from cutting-edge corporations around the globe, a visionary look into the answers of tomorrow today. Business leaders, business solutions, 21st Century Business.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Terry Casey. It stands to reason that companies generally would like to build sustainable, energy-efficient projects, whether an entire structure or an add-on to an existing building. But what they may not know is how to secure funding in the form of grants and other programs to make their projects affordable. Joining us to explain the ins and outs of energy incentives is David Ely, President of Energy Design Service Systems, also known as EDSS. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Terry. It's a pleasure.
What would you say is the biggest challenge that companies face when they're considering an energy-efficient project? Would you think it might be the perception that it just costs too much?
Absolutely. Cost is one of the major factors that people do not do projects, and also they also do not look at the different facets of the whole building to get the maximum amount of energy back in savings. But I built my company on finding incentives throughout federal, state, and local, and cities that pay almost, and sometimes 100% of the cost.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad at all. Tell us about your company, Energy Design Service Systems, and what you offer to connect companies to the dollars that may be available for their projects.
Well, I started out as a lighting designer and doing national accounts throughout the country, and I discovered that there were local incentives that were available throughout the United States. And then take it from there, I discovered there were federal, state, and other programs that would pay for these. So I became expert in each of these areas and find incentives in all those areas that people sometimes just touch one and don't realize there's 6 or 7 that will pay for their projects.
I like the sound of that, and I'm sure a lot of people do. Why don't we see how these efforts have worked out in this 21st Century Business Field Report?
With more than 3 decades of experience in the lighting and energy industry, EDSS is a leading national provider of energy-focused solutions that save clients money, reduce energy consumption, eliminate waste, and promote compliance with federal, state, and local regulations.
EDSS incentives hugely impacted our project with the fact that they made it cost affordable. When we looked at our pricing originally without EDSS, it was just not going to be in the budget, and when they came in with their ability to assist us with grants and rebates and forms, it put the light costs and the LED costs within our budget, and it made it very cost effective.
EDS's team of engineers, lighting designers, and consultants will deliver an exclusive solution to your business's energy standing that enhances appearance, improves the bottom line, reduces energy consumption, minimizes the carbon footprint, and ensures compliance with the fullest range of regulations and legislation.
EDSS identified incentives that were available to some of our clients. We had no idea utility companies gave incentives for energy efficient equipment. EDSS filled out the forms, we counted the hundreds of different light fixtures and their types and cataloged everything, provided all the documentation. It was submitted to the electric companies. Shortly after approval, our clients received, in one case, a $40,000 check from their utility company.
Virtually all businesses can take advantage of the programs that EDSS has created to specifically showcase their emphasized economy without sacrificing appearances. EDSS's core focus is to help clients receive the funds they deserve for their energy enhancements, with specialized knowledge in over a dozen distinct programs.
If you're serious about energy efficiency, you have to start early. You can't get halfway through a project, define budgets, define floor plate, and then decide, let's be energy efficient. It really has to come out right at the beginning.
Anybody that wants to consider the LED and the energy efficient high technology that LED lighting offers is get in touch with EDSS and talk to them, and they'll make it happen with you.
David, as I understand it, your experience is, to say the least, extensive.
My background is actually in art, and I became a lighting designer, and then I started designing light fixtures for applications for customers. From there, I started producing them, so I have extensive background in construction and application of lighting. From there, and starting to do incentives, I went out and searched and found people on my staff that have architectural, HVAC engineers, electrical engineers, designers, and so forth that are experts in each one of these areas, and it makes me look all that much smarter.
What are some of the programs that are available for commercial energy efficiency?
There are federal programs that are available. One is called EPACT or 179D. From there's 45L. There are rebates. There are state incentives that match those from taking those certifications and apply them to states and cities and so forth.
Can universities and other nonprofit companies take advantage of these programs? And if so, which ones would you say are the most beneficial?
Absolutely. I do many universities throughout the country and speak to universities on this subject. 179D is one of the better ones because of the large dollar amount that's involved that can be transferred to the people doing the work to lower the cost. But many of the others are directly applied to cash and so forth that can either be transferred or go right to the university to lower the cost of these projects.
Well, at 179D, just what is it and what are the best candidates for that program?
It is a law that was instated called EPACT of 2005 that allows up to a $1.80 deduction for building envelope, lighting, heating, and cooling. Any building can take advantage of this that has been built since 2006 or remodeled. So every building is a candidate.
What about programs available for energy efficient residential projects?
That is called 45L, and it is an Energy Star program that gives a client up to $2,000 back per unit or house, apartment complex, condo, timeshares that can give them back the incentives to improve their efficiency. And it is an excellent program, and it is a credit, not a deduction.
How do these state and local credits and or incentive programs work?
You take the certification that you do for 170 or 45L, and then they apply it to the states for their functions. So some states will give an additional $1.80. Some will go to payroll tax, some will go to property tax, or for their state tax. And you take that incentive and apply it to the paperwork of that state or that city.
What about grants? What are the different types available?
Grants are one of the most wonderful things that no one takes advantage of. There's thousands of grants come out per year, thousands, and they apply from anything from energy efficiency to empowerment zones to whatever for the projects they may have. Most people don't apply for them because there's a certain procedure and steps that you need to do, and most people either hire a kid out of high school to write them or try to write them on their own. But there's a poetry that the government wants to see this in, and they can pay up to 100% of the projects if you apply for them. And the government wants you to apply for them, but they're also hard to find.
That brings me to my next question too. Why should clients seek a professional service instead of going after rebates, incentives, and such on their own?
Well, many of the programs you have to have a third-party certifier to obtain these. The IRS wants an unbiased opinion as to the efficiency of the building. Second is in grants, and that they want to hear it in a specific way. It's like poetry, and there's certain steps you need to take. You need to have experience in order to win your higher percentage of winning these grants and these incentives.
David, what is an energy audit, and what kinds of businesses or projects would benefit from an energy audit?
An energy audit, building that is 2 to 3 years old at least should look at an energy audit. You should start from the electric bills and utility bills because a high percentage are wrong. Most people don't realize that. They are on the wrong rate, they're on the wrong, their meters are read wrong, there are errors that the utility bills do and they won't tell you. Second, you start looking at your billing itself and your operations. Most buildings can save up to 30% by just changing smaller things in their operations, how they do things. For example, turning lights off automatically with sensors and so forth, and looking at little things that they do that they don't realize they're doing and can save up to 30%.
Can more than one, say, incentive, such as a deduction, credit, rebate, grant, can those be combined?
I built my company on getting people multiple incentives, and yes, they definitely can be combined. We give people 5 and 6 and 7 incentives that say can pay up to 100% of the cost. But even if you hit 1 or 2, you can get 25% of your cost available. It's definitely it's available to you, and it varies from state to state to city to city. So not all programs are available for each area. So sometimes it depends where you're at and how lucky you can be.
Well, David, I'll tell you what, there really is a lot of money out there to help organizations reach energy efficiency and achieve that goal. But it's so complex that they really could use some expert help finding it, and I guess that would be your company. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us, David.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. For 21st Century Business, I'm Terry Casey.